Hey, Bex Allen here. I wanted to have a little bit of a chat about why someone would choose to work with an EFT or Matrix Reimprinting Practitioner rather than just doing it themselves. So you would have noticed that on my Facebook page and on my website I share some tips and show you how to do tapping and different little energetic tips on how to bring some balance back into your life. Now these things are fabulous tools to use on your own, and I myself used EFT. I discovered EFT probably 18 months before I became a practitioner, and it really changed my life. Like, it got me through so much anxiety. Like, it literally changed my world when it came to how I experienced it with my anxiety. So these tips and tools are things that you can use on your own. So you might be wondering why on earth someone would pay to work with a practitioner. I know myself, I wondered that back then too. So the benefits of working with a practitioner that you actually use that tool to release the energy. So the tapping, when we do a matrix session, we use the tapping inside a memory. So you're actually tapping on your younger self in a memory. And the purpose of working with someone else is that you actually go real deep. The practitioner will guide you towards will help you guide you into your subconscious mind to get the memories that are connected to the energy of the anxiety that you're feeling right now. And you'll be taken back into childhood where these sort of all these memories and things that were really imprinted before we were sort of 6 or 7 years old. And generally that's where a lot of things happen that actually created anxiety. And over the years we just re-imprinted it and just really, firmed up that pathway of that energy in our body, and it becomes something else. It becomes bigger and brighter and, really noticeable in us, and something else in our life might happen that's connected to that feeling. And it, in the end, we end up not knowing where on earth it started. So that's what working with a practitioner will do, is that on your own, you can release that energy, which is just wonderful to help you get on with your day and live your life. But to work with a practitioner, you can actually follow the energy, and we'll go back to where it started. We can find the first memory, we can find the worst memory of these times that you felt the same energy. And when we release the energy and transform that memory, it just has this like domino effect on all of the other times that you've felt that energy. So that's where the relief comes from, because you've released it at that earlier phase. And believe it or not, it's actually a lot easier to release energy when we're working with our sort of pre-6 or 7 year old selves, because children are really simple. The things that they need, their needs are so much more simple. So for us to go into a memory with our younger selves, and what we want to do is we want to find out what we needed in that moment, because our needs weren't being met for the reasons of why we were feeling whatever that feeling was. And we can change it and transform it. And the practitioner is what will guide you and ask you questions and prompt you and maybe suggest other ways or resources that you can bring into the memory to really transform it. So some healing modalities will work on neutralizing an energy or a feeling on an event, whatever the event may be. And it doesn't have to be big. I mean, often it's not big things that we don't even think had any repercussions on our life whatsoever. But yeah, so some modalities try and neutralize it. Matrix reimprinting, we actually transform it into a positive. So you come away, we won't actually reimprint it until it is a real firm positive for you. So you come away with a new positive belief. And another reason for working with practitioners is that, you know, the idea of it is to understand what the belief was that was made in that moment. So we use the subconscious mind to take us back to the memory. And when we're there, we figure out what the belief was that was made, or the decision that was made about themselves, yourself, or about the world that you were in. An example of that being perhaps when we were, you know, a child, something happened and the decision was made that this world we're in is unsafe. The world is unsafe. Now this could play out really, this could be the example of a person who feels unsafe, maybe scared of the dark, or feels like they need to check the locks all the time and be like really locked in and made sure that they feel safe security wise. That could easily be taken back to a belief that the world is an unsafe place. So once we figure out what the negative belief is that you've been running your whole life on, and you don't even know that you're doing this, but this negative belief was there, and then over time, every time something happens and you do something to make yourself feel more secure in the world you're in, the more you're sort of reinforcing that belief. So what we do is we go into the memory and we make your younger self feel safe, and we give them resources to feel safe. And we do this and release the energy, and it really is like magic. I'm not a fan of the word magic, but the way it just releases is beautiful, and you feel the shift and the lift. And once that negative belief is gone, we discover what the new belief is, and then we re-imprint that new belief. So that's what working with a practitioner, it's much deeper work. It really is specific to you. So you can use a whole host of beautiful tips to make you feel less anxious and help you through those anxious times. But working with a practitioner is where you get that real deep work, where you get to work specifically on what your issues are, and you get to follow the energy of what's going on for you and what your experience of anxiety is, or your experience of self-doubt, or whatever the situation is that's bringing something up for you. We follow that energy and see where it takes us, and it's just beautiful work. I'm so in love with the work that I do. So it's like a two-pronged effect when you work with me. I give you the tips to use on your own, and I will help you tailor those tips to work for you and, for you in your life and your day between our sessions. And then when we get together, we go deep. We get to the bottom of what the shit is, and we clear it out, and it's just beautiful work. So yes, that's a bit of an explanation of why you would work with a practitioner rather than just doing these little tips and tools on your own. See ya.